Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Just Seen podcast. And today, as you've seen from the title, I'm going to be talking about Ditheism. And the reason why I'm going to talk about this is because, one, this is something that motherfuckers ain't talking about. Like, you hear about monotheism, you hear about polytheism, but we don't really talk much about Ditheism. And as you've seen from the, subtitle, we're talking about the facade of monotheism, right? The reason why I want to have this conversation is because I was talking to somebody. I always have conversations where I was talking to a motherfucker and it just sparked some other shit. But we was having this conversation, you know what I'm saying? And the motherfucker was like, it was like, something about, I don't remember what they said, but my response was, I don't know, it was kind of an intrusive thought and it just came out. I was like, you believe in the devil more than you believe in God, right? And the motherfucker was like, no, I don't. I'm a devout believer. I do not believe in the devil, whatever the case may be. I'm like, but you do. And they were like, no, I don't. I was like, for real, the devil carries the same amount of weight in your life as God. And, we kind of, they was like, yo, how you figure at first they was offensive and shit. Well, offended and shit. All coming off however motherfuckers come off when they mad. And I was like, nah, for real though, because you got to think, I'm like this. Do you believe that, God always works in mysterious ways, all these things? You're like, yep, sure do. So I'm like, but at the same time, the devil is busy in your life. And so she was like, yeah, because the devil, he can come in, try to tempt you. He going to come in this, that, and the third. I'm like, yo, how does the devil have equal power as God? She was like, well, the devil don't have equal power as God in my life. I said he has to in order to be able to successfully be busy. You feel me? So the motherfucker paused and stepped back or whatever the case may be and was like, I don't get what you're saying. I'm like, I know. Because it's when you live in a space where you think you're, when you exist in a space where you're trying to behave and perform for a specific thing, you don't realize that you are going against the negative by default. And again, this led into another part of the conversation that we was having. And they were like, the devil is busy or whatever. And it was like, That's what it was. There was a song. I don't remember the song, but they were singing a song and it was saying about we're going to make the devil mad. And I was like, why? Like what is the purpose in you making the devil mad? And they were like, well, so I'm like, do you think making the devil mad gives God your devotion or whatever? So I was like, so you really don't even love God. You just hate the devil. And that's what kind of led to what everything else was. And I said, because you're not trying, your attempt and you attempting or thinking and perceiving that you're pleasing God, it's at the result of you spiting the devil. And I was like, nah, I said, yeah, and then it got me thinking, because I started thinking back to when I used to go to church, when I was a kid and all this shit, like the pastors and everybody, like, yo, we're gonna make the devil mad. Like, why? And that's what led to the point. I was like, that opens the door for the nigga to be busy. Like, you're giving him energy. You feel me? You're giving him energy. And I'm like, if you can really logically say that the devil has no power, why are you using your angry? Why are you intentionally trying to make him angry? You feel what I'm saying? And it was like, well, that's because I'm like, if God has the power and he's what he is to you, why are you trying to, what are you trying to get out of God where you have to spite the devil? Like, that's ultimately what it came to. I was like, what are you trying to get God to see by spiting the devil? Because clearly if he kicked the nigga out of heaven, you feel me? And he allegedly don't fuck with the nigga. Why would you have to be in a space where what you do is based off of making the devil mad so God will like you? What does that say about you as a person? In addition to that, what does that say to you what is that a testament to for you as a person? But it's like, why is that a testament to you as a person? Because I often say, and I've been saying it for a while, even before I had this conversation with this person, I was like, motherfuckers don't really love God. They just don't want to go to hell. Which in turn opens the door for you to spite the devil. But then it's like, if you're trying to spite the devil and make the devil mad, why does the devil get that much energy out of you? You feel me? Which opens the door. It's like, yo, that's why the motherfucker always busy. Now, for me, I define deities and I look at deities as the highest conceptualizations of the mind. And I stand on that. I'm always going to stand on that. And every day it exposes it more and more, because now when we consider ditheism, right? This is why I say monotheism is a facade, because in order for monotheism to work, it has to only be one deity. But we have elevated, even if we don't want to admit it, we have elevated devils to the same capacity as deities, as gods. Because a deity, it doesn't matter whether it's a god or a devil. A deity is the highest conceptualization of the mind. But if we don't look at it as the highest conceptualization of the mind and look at it as a living, breathing entity, a living entity, then in order for that entity to have any power, it needs an opposite, and vice versa. But at the same time, it's like there's an imbalance where the evil entity is somewhat weaker than the light deity or the good deity. But it's like, where did you get that from? Because like I said, in order for monotheism to work, and the reason why I'm choppy like that, because I know I got to get ready to you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to pause that right quick because I already feel myself drifting to the episode. So before we dive heavy into it, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Sing the Griot. Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSing.com to get all things that are just seen. To all those who tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. To all those who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of the podcast. Not the episode, but the podcast itself. And you know the vibes. Cash App and PayPal are just fine. And as always, that's that for this and that's this for that. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into ditheism, the facade of monotheism. And don't forget to visit IamJustSing.com. There, you can get all things Just Sing. You want to add the So For Real series to your library? Visit IamJustSing.com. You want to learn how to master the markets for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSing.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSing.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSing.com. You ever want to just chat with Sing about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSing.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSing.com. So take a quick peek into my world to see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it, and you will never see it unless you visit IamJustSing.com. All right. Welcome back. And you know what? I was already flowing, so I'm just going to dive heavy into this shit. So when you are considering, and if for the new people here, like the episodes usually ain't like that, but like when it come through, I just got to keep going. And I already felt myself going, and I wasn't going to have a good moment to stop to give the intro, to cut the intro for, sponsorships and shit. Anyway, so we're getting into the space and we're having this conversation, and I'm speaking in on it from when we look at monotheism, right? Mono means one, theism means deity. Now, deity, however you pronounce it, is the highest conceptualization of the mind. Like I said, I stand on that. I'm always going to rock with that. And when we consider what they try to make monotheism, like monotheism can't work without a devil, which means that there's no such thing as monotheism because there can't be one God. You feel what I'm saying? And now I get it. People say, well, I only believe in one God. You can't. If the devil, even for 5 minutes, if the devil can be busy in your life, you believe in two gods, at least. So the whole idea of monotheism, there's only one true living God, is like all of that shit falls apart. Now, this I'm saying this because it's like, even whether you call it God, Allah, Jehovah, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, they all have an antithesis to them. It just so happens that it's all called the devil or the enemy or whatever. How the fuck niggas want to call it these days? But every deity that you serve has an antithesis to it, to be an antithesis to you. And you give it life. So if you serve, as you say, you serve a living deity, and there's only one living deity that you serve, but it has an antithesis that can fuck with you. That can literally fuck with you enough to be busy in your life. Enough to be busy in your life to cause turmoil, and where you have to then pray and be sent into a temple to contact your good deity. It's like there's an imbalance off. You feel me? And that's one of the points of the conversation I was having with the person about. I was like, yo, you're not monotheistic, because the person tried to say, well, because I fucks with Africa, I fucks with spirituality, whether it be African spirituality or whatever. Specifically, my induction into spirituality ultimately came from the Kemetic iconographies. Now, I'm not going to be one who's going to say I'm Kemetic and I do understand it, but I don't claim to have one system that I fuck with, because it's like I find truth in all of them. So this is why when motherfuckers be like, "Yo, you're an atheist." I'm not an atheist. I'm an omnist. Like it should be obvious when you hear me say God, Allah, Jehovah, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, Yeshua. Like it should be obvious, but it's not. But I'm an omnist, and I'm an omnist to the capacity that I understand the full depths of what spirituality is, and I understand that each spiritual system, religion, however we're looking at them, they are codifying the understanding of source. You feel me? So when people ask me, why don't I call it God, or why don't I, I'm like, no, I honor source. I honor source. To honor source is to truly be monotheistic, which is ironic than a motherfucker. Because when I be like, yo, source, or I say the universe, like motherfuckers be like, no, it's only God. Nigga, I get what you call it. I call it source. The reason why I acknowledge it as source, because from the one come the all, therefore the all is the one. Under my premise and my perspective of identifying source, it's like that's truly monotheism. Because there is no devil on my, like, and what I look at, there's no devil, there's no God. It's just source. And this is why I can't give it a name, because to give it a name, I have to then give it an antithesis, because now I'm creating the duality, which is what people do. Now we exist in a space where people's relationship with God, Allah, Jehovah, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, the relationship with their positive deity is in spite of the negative deity. It's wild how it plays out, but that's what it is. You feel me? And I always wonder, like, how do y'all niggas, it used to get me because, like, from the religious background that I came from as a Christian, it's like niggas be like, they can spot a devil, they can spot a demon, but they don't know when they're entertaining an angel. Which means, who do you have a higher affinity to? I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm just saying, like, who do you have a higher affinity to if you can see one minion over the other? Angels, we're going to keep it what it is. Angels are God's minions, and demons are devil's minions. We're going to call it like that. But how can you easily spot a demon, but you never know when you're entertaining an angel? And it's right there in your face. Because that changes the dynamic. So, like, you don't know when somebody is good to you? That's crazy. Like, you don't even know when somebody's being good to you, because you're always anticipating that somebody's going to be bad to you, because you're always seeing demons. And this conversation, this it might get a little heavy, but this is season 13 and it's my podcast, bitch. I don't give a fuck. But nah, when I'm looking at it from the bigger perspective, right? And I'm seeing how people are coming from, well, I believe in this, but I don't fuck with that. Like, when I gave up religion, a lot of people were like, yo, you're going to worship the devil. No, y'all don't get it. I don't fuck with none of it. None of it. Because it all exists together. And it's like, that's what I had to start getting to. I had to start telling people, no, nigga, I'm not angry with God. I don't hate God. Like, none of it exists to me. Because it only exists in the books. You feel what I'm saying? It only exists in the books. And if it exists in the books, then you can only create your parameters around the books, which is what I was talking about for the last 2 episodes. You feel me? Well, yeah, the last 2. So for conversations and then on reading. So it's like, when you don't even understand that it's written this way, how can you understand what it really is? You feel me? So I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, if you don't believe, if you believe wholeheartedly that God is real, that this is what it is, like, yo, how can you only see negative? Like, you know when demons are around, you know? And that's what I was going to get to before I got off. When I would talk to people who would talk about, like, astral projection and shit. Religious people, they say, oh, that's demonic. You're going to see evil. You're going to, like, why are you only able to see evil? People will post tweets and shit. They'll make statements and shit. They'll be like, yeah, I went to hell and I saw Biggie and Tupac. Why you only see us? Why are black people the only, like, why do you see that? You feel what I'm saying? Motherfuckers will move the goalposts for Caucasians and all kind of shit. But that's a different conversation that I don't really want to get into as far as that. But if it comes out, it comes out. But why is it that you're able to see devils and demons so easily? You feel me? But you don't know when God is around. Something's off with that. I know it's off, but I can't. I'm gonna get to, you know, ultimately what it is. But something is really off with that when a devil can be busy in your life that a devil should have no access to. You feel what I'm saying? Like that was the whole point of all of the shit. Like, when you get into the religion, when you get baptized, you get saved, you get filled with the Holy Ghost, you go down this route. Now it's crazy because people say, well, that's when the enemy comes stronger. Why? If you getting closer to the enemy's enemy and the enemy's attack gets stronger, what did you really align with? I want to be dramatic with that because I really want to drive that point home. If I can't speak for everybody else, I can only speak for me. Shit got worse when I got deeper into religion. Like when I actually, gave my life back and everything, like shit got worse and I wasn't willing to lie about what was happening and be in denial to the shit and say, nah, this is what it is. And I hear people say all the time, it's like, yo, the devil's tempting me. The devil's busy, these things. And it's like, how? You're covered. Like he should not have no access to you. He should not even been able to touch you. He should not be able to get close to you. Like how? How, nigga? And then they say, well, you got faith the size of a mustard seed and shit like that. It's like, yo, if that's all it takes is faith the size of a mustard seed, you should be able to tell a mountain to move. You have faith in his deity the size of a mustard seed, but yet his antithesis has the power to influence you and tempt you and shit. Something's wrong. Unless you're not giving it in a way in which you're supposed to understand it. Because when you're giving it in a way in which you say there's only one deity, there's only one true living God, then it's like there can't be only one true living God if his enemy is able to test you. Like he got some kind of power where he could fuck with you. You feel what I'm saying? Like niggas be like, they'll say, yo, what God has for you, nothing could touch, no man could break or whatever the case may be. And they be broken. Like the shit that they achieve and shit, it get fucked up. And it's like, how? How? Biggest example that I could think of that puts Ditheism right in perspective. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to use the Bible because it's easier for me to identify as the story of Job. That's Ditheism at its finest. That's Ditheism at its finest. And it's like, who is he supposed to be aligned with? And it was fucked up because it starts off where this nigga's like, yo, I bet you can't make him curse me. I bet you can't make him curse my name. Now, that's crazy when you think about it, because that is two deities they're testing each other's power. So much so that one deity is so arrogant and so confident. I ain't gonna say arrogant. He's so confident in his power that he gives the other deity free reign to do whatever he wants. He's given the other deity free reign to use all of his power to ensure that this other person does not curse him. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. I know we look at the story of Job and motherfucking it's such a good thing. It's about patience. It's about no, nigga, it's about a bet. And Job was the centerpiece of that bet. Call it for what it is. So much so that niggas don't even read it well enough to know that at the end of it, it wasn't the devil that fucked him up. It was God the whole time. Which is crazy because now when people tell the story, they were like, yeah, the devil, God just told him that he couldn't touch a hair on his head. He couldn't. I got that. But God did the shit. So devil didn't do shit. And it's like, it's crazy when you really think about it, because it's like, how did the devil even have that kind of power? I'm doing a dramatic pause with that because that has to resonate, because it's now going to tie heavier into the Ditheism. And even deeper than the Ditheism, it now goes into how I always express it as deities are the highest conceptualizations of the mind. The highest duality is good and evil. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Everything in some way, shape, or form is going to fall under good and evil until you transcend and get to benefit and detriment. But for the esoteric side, everything is about good and evil. For the exoteric side, everything is about good and evil. That's what religion is designed for, to give you the theism. You feel me? Theology, theism is to give you that, which is the highest conceptualization of the mind, in a singularity. Now, when they give you monotheism under the facade, they give you ditheism under the facade of monotheism, it makes you pick a side. Am I good or am I evil? This Epstein files list shit. How are these niggas? Look, peep this. Under this Epstein files release shit, there was a lot of quote unquote satanic rituals that they were saying. They were like, yo, these are satanic rituals. These people worship the devil and everything. God let it happen. So when you exist in the space of ditheism, God let it happen. Now people say, no, you can't. They move the goalposts for the omnipotence of a deity. Like, it's like, oh no, we can't control the hearts of men. We can't control how men are going to respond. We can't control the evil that men do. They'll pay for it later. No, because the very book says that he protects babies and fools. These are babies that are being trafficked. These are babies that are being eaten. These are babies that are being sacrificed. So it makes you wonder, like, how do you make a buffer to where people think that these things are actual entities? Living, breathing entities that work, rather than, yo, these are fucked up humans. The highest conceptualizations of their mind are fucked up. It has nothing to do with that external supernatural force. They are the force, and they've convinced you that something exists supernaturally. Because source isn't binary. Source manifests itself in a binary way, good and evil, which is God and the devil, Zeus and Hades. Fucking, this is where the difference came in. Across the diaspora, the Africoid spiritual systems never had devils. Never had devils. There was never a good and evil. There was just opposing forces. And they told them in a cosmic way that they're not good or they're not evil. And that takes things away, because if your perception of shit is what has to be good, or your perception of shit is what has to be bad, you have to pick a side and you can't be whole. You feel what I'm saying? You can't be whole. So when we look at the Epstein shit, it's like these people were worshiping shit that's in a nation under God. How do you get away with that? I'm gonna let that sit for a second. Let it breathe. This is, I talk about masculinity, spiritual, mental, and physical embodiment, the essence of analysis and deconstruction. This is analysis and deconstruction. You can't tell me that this thing, it can harden the Pharaoh's heart. It can harden the Pharaoh's heart to make sure that it doesn't let go of the people. Now here's that story being fucked up. Ditheism, my nigga. My bad, I had to sip some water. Every time, like Pharaoh said, he'll every time Moses said to let my people go, Pharaoh let them go. I don't know why they make Pharaoh the bad guy, but Pharaoh let him go. And then God hardens Pharaoh's heart. He's hardened Pharaoh's heart 3 times to prove that I am God. Like the plague and shit with the frogs, and then him having Moses like something makes you wonder. Does the story really just tell that Moses did what he did through God's power, or was Moses flexing his power on his own and saying that it was God to keep a buffer in reality? Because now when we look at Abrahamic religions and shit, we got to look at the cornerstones. You feel me? They all follow the same principle. It's like, yo, I got this power because God gave it to me, not because I am God in flesh. Which is now where we get to I was just seeing this post about it, calling it being the chosen one is religious psychosis. Because how does, when you are in that space where you call yourself the chosen one and you become a chosen one, you act like you're a motherfucking chosen one, what are you chosen for? You feel what I'm saying? But now you justify it. Source, God, Allah, Jehovah, Krishna, Buddha, they gave me this individual power. This is one of the reasons why, if you've been rocking with me this long, you've heard me say this a plethora of times, a multitude of times. It's like, we all have the same gift. The gift is life. And we can do whatever we want to do with it. However, we can choose to be good. We could choose to be bad, but we can use that power for the same thing. However we choose to use the power. But under a monotheistic perspective, you think that, and this is where you get the chosen one shit come from. It's like, I'm special and set apart. How? You, what level of narcissism and arrogance do you have to think that source created you set apart from everybody else? I'm doing a dramatic pause with that. How did source bestow something very special and unique only to you? And people wonder why it's not revealed to them. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't see why I say shit like your purpose is found on the other side of your pain. You heal, you'll find purpose. Because now you know how to get people to heal. I've been through what you've been through. Now I can help you with that because I've been through that. You feel what I'm saying? But when you believe that you're a part, like that whole Instagram, TikTok shit was like, yo, chosen one, nigga. It's like 8 million chosen ones. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. I did a Carl Jung test. I can't tell you what I did it for because, you know, NDAs and shit. But I did this Carl Jung test. And in it, it broke down that I was a rational mastermind. Like my template, my psychological, spiritual template is a rational mastermind. And there's only 1% of those in the world. At any given time, there's only 1%. So now when I tell people that, it's like, oh, that's an anomaly. No, nigga, if there's 8 billion people, you know what 1% of 8 billion is? That's 8 million, nigga. That's not a rarity. That shit touched my soul. It tickled me. But like, yo, I'm not a rarity. If 8 million motherfuckers can do this, if there's 8 billion people in this world, 1%. Nice. Wait, let me double check because it might not even be 8 million. I feel like it might be 80 million. Let me see. Million. 1,000, 100,000, million, billion. It's 80 million. 1% of 8 billion people is 80 million people. I'm not a rarity. Like it sounds good statistically. Like it sounds good. It sounds very rare statistically, but practically it's not. 80 million motherfuckers can be rational masterminds. And I'm putting that in perspective because now when we look at motherfuckers like I'm the chosen one, nigga, that technically you would be a 1%er of some shit to be a chosen one. And it's 80 million motherfuckers, yo. 80 million of you niggas, bro. 80 million of you niggas. How are you a chosen one? You feel me? You believe that you're a chosen one based off the monotheism that you accept that is a facade because of the ditheism. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I say that it's crazy because it's like we all have to believe in something. We all think we're the good side of it. And I feel like religion is perfect. The monotheism ideation is solely given so that way you can pick a side. And if you pick a side, everybody wants to be good. Now you become a people pleaser and you don't, instead of becoming a spiteful motherfucker. Like these motherfuckers, they talking about, oh, these are satanic. They're doing satanic rituals. Nigga, they're just doing evil shit. They're making a conscious choice to do evil shit. And there's no consequence for it. Like, do you see how this goes into the laws of the universe? But do you see how we need physical, like everybody's talking about justice. You know, these people need to go to jail. They need to be locked up. The atrocities that they committed, the atrocities that they committed have to receive justice from a man, from a physical being. That should let you know who really has the power here. Babies, my nigga, were eaten. Adrenochrome is a real thing. I put it in one of my jam sessions, bro. I try to sneak it in there, but they low-key be flagging it, but you feel me? I gotta fuck with it. It's called Deepest Oceans. I be like, adrenochrome would be they fate. They beating cases in our faces while them babies in them cages getting traded to the highest bidder using flowing blood as liquor while they shorten our retention. They can go and snatch them quicker. You feel me? This is different. And as long as you believe that like, again, to the point of physically, men have to, when I say men, I mean humans, like they have to met justice. Lock them up. Lock the people up. Do stuff. Why lock them up? I'm not saying let them get away with it. But I'm saying how are they able to get away with it? Because justice is not supposed to be meted out supernaturally when they do some natural shit. But because the shit that they do is elevated to a supernatural reality, you don't think you can fight it naturally. Or you don't develop the supernatural counterparts to bang with it. I was talking to somebody. And we were talking about witchcraft and shit. And they was like, I'm not, like, witchcraft is demonic, so I'm not going to practice it. Why? Are you a demon? No. Are you an evil person? No. So why won't you learn witchcraft then? If I know that this shit'll beat my ass, why should I know it? I got to be able to fight back, right? But you pray? Like, think about that shit. Demons, people that practice the dark forces and shit, they're fighting your ass with witchcraft and you're praying? You're praying for them? You're rebuking them? You think they're not rebuking you? They're actually practicing something. They're actually using something against you and you don't know how to use it. You think avoiding it is gonna keep it from happening to you? No. Learn the skill and fight the fuck back. But you know why you don't want to learn a skill and fight back? Because you know that you're evil. Respectfully. Know how you know you're evil? Because you're born a sinner. You're born bad. So you have to be saved. Like this psychologically, this is some crazy shit. But it's crazy in the sense that they need ditheism to actually they need ditheism to initially control people. And when I look at it from the exoteric side of it and why religion is in place and everything like that, it's all based off ditheism. It's not monotheism like they want us to believe. It's monotheism in the context. Okay, let me say it like this. It's not monotheism by definition. You feel me? By definition, monotheism is one deity. But somehow you're given two deities and told to pick a side. Spinning it back to what I was mentioning when I was like, yo, when I left religion, people are like, oh, so you believe in the devil? No, nigga. I don't fuck with neither one of them niggas, bro. I don't fuck with God or Satan, nigga. I don't fuck with Jehovah or Satan, nigga. I don't fuck with Jehovah or Satan, nigga. Why am I, you notice why I keep saying Satan? Now that's just Christianity, my nigga. Whether you go Hebrew or whatever the case may be, that's just Christianity. God has 3 different names in this motherfucker. You either gonna call him God, you either call him Jehovah, or you call him Jehovah. That's the name for God. But in each facet, it's Satan. Satan, Satan, and Satan. That's it. Nigga, there's the only 3 niggas that, like, Satan doesn't have another. He has Lucifer. Lucifer. So look at the names. Like, you have Satan and Lucifer are the devil. You have God, Jehovah, and Jehovah are the name of God. You were told to pick a side a long time ago. Now, here's where the mind fuck comes in, because if you don't really know the depths of all of the shit that you're experiencing, you're not going to understand it. Because if Lucifer name means the bringer of light, and Jesus says, I'm the light in the way, who's really God in this situation? You feel me? Just to fuck with you, it'll have to be Mary, because she birthed him. How dare, like, nigga, just read the shit. But it's like, because you don't understand that religion is wired to mythology, ritual, and allegory. You don't understand the mythology established through the ditheism. Now they're giving, like I said, they're giving it to you as a perspective of this is monotheistic because it's one God that you choose. This is why, like, you'll give your life to God, or this is what they tell you: you give your life to God, or by default you're already given to the devil. How? I didn't choose that, nigga. I didn't choose that, nigga. Well, when you're born into sin. How? So now when we look at shit like the Epstein shit, these are pedophiles. These are motherfuckers that are fucking up babies and shit. Like, but who fucked up the baby first? Who really fucked up the baby first? You feel what I'm saying? If you're fucking giving the child if you're giving the child a moniker that they're already bad, and you have to be covered in the blood because you can't make sound decisions enough to be good. What do you think that's going to do in the long run, my nigga? Because all your life you're told this. You're going to go to a church. You're going to go somewhere that's going to always condemn you. You feel me? Always tell you that you're living for the demon or the dark side, and tell you that you have to come to the light side. That's the hustle, my nigga. That's the hustle. I had conversations with motherfuckers and they was like, yo, so what are you going to do for morality? Be a moral motherfucker. I don't need an outside source to make me be a moral motherfucker. But when you do, it shows me how much immorality is already in you. You feel what I'm saying? This is ditheism. And it's a facade that it's masked, it's hiding it. Ditheism, and it creates the facade of monotheism. I have never met a good person who was like, when you look at the people that are overly zealous, they're evil. They fucked up. They're fucked up. I know people that have starved kids, but they were devout Christians. Every day they in church, shouting. Well, not every day, Sunday and shit. But you know how we talk. But they in church shouting, giving the pastor money and saying, you bless me and all of this shit and doing all of this crazy shit. But they'll starve a child. They'll starve a child. They'll beat a child. This is the shit that be getting me. It's like, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. And it's like, yo, how can you turn the cheek to your enemy, but you refuse to spare the rod for your child? That should be flip-flopped. You feel me? You spare the enemy. You spare the rod, you spoil your enemy. You turn the cheek to your child. How do we get those lines crossed? Because the way the society is structured, if you fuck up a kid, you can control the world, my nigga. You can dictate so much shit. You damage a child, you take away their safe haven. You take away their internal safe haven, their innocence is gone. I forgot what episode it was. I have an episode called Inner Child 3. The restoration of innocence. And in that episode, I'm talking about how the moment we lose our innocence, this is what they don't teach you. They talk about, oh, this child lost their innocence. And we think it's because you finally saw something traumatic or whatever the case may be. And that may be true. But what it means to lose your innocence means that you pick a side of life. There's only two dynamics, good and evil. But let's unpack that. Let's actually use the words that take away the innocence. Not just good and evil, because that's Superman and fucking kryptonite or some shit. You feel me? But let's actually use the words of what it is. Trauma and euphoria. When a child's innocence is taken, when a child loses their innocence, they are going to be aligned with either trauma or euphoria. You feel what I'm saying? There's no magnitude. Now we quantify these things as bad and we quantify these things as good. Trauma's bad, euphoria is good. But now when we elevate to the esoteric side and we look at its benefit and detriment, then we can codify that even those two dualities have that. Because you can have beneficial trauma, you can have detrimental trauma. You can have beneficial euphoria and detrimental euphoria. But it's easier to transmute the mind of a motherfucker when they're traumatized. But it's just as easy to manipulate a motherfucker when it's euphoria. Euphoria is just harder to earn. Euphoria is how cults are started. They give you this idea of a religion. Ditheism. Make you pick a side. Now you're going to go for this euphoria. Like, people tell me, when people say they have a love for deity, they have a love for the intercessors of the deity. It's like, yo, how? Like, the love that I have for this, like, you're lying. Which is something thou shalt not do, but you're lying and don't even know that you're lying. You're trying to convince yourself that this love is real. And that's crazy. How do you love something you never experienced? This is why when I define love, and this is why it's a staple of Palakafe, because it's the power for betterment through correction. How are you correcting a deity? No, this is now why I also define love, how people look at it today, is the amalgamation of infatuation, admiration, desire, and lust. You put those four things together and you tie that to a deity, motherfuckers got it. Admiration, infatuation, desire, and lust. That's what they make you feel for your deity. Because you can't correct a deity. It's perfect, right? So you can't really use the power of love, only the feeling. And that feeling is the amalgamation of infatuation, admiration, desire, and lust. Doing a dramatic pause with that. Because when motherfuckers say they love God, Yah, Allah, Jehovah, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, Yeshua, whatever it is that they say they love, I could put money on it. It's a 99.9% chance those four things are involved. Because it's the allure. When I was in church and I was being indoctrinated, I'm going to call it for what it is, bro. When I was being indoctrinated, they would always tell me the story about them turning water to wine, multiplying the fish and shit like that. You would admire a motherfucker like that. Tell me you got to be more like this motherfucker. Like you desire a motherfucker like that. You feel me? You'll be infatuated with a motherfucker like that and you'll lust over him. Now, because society has fucked it up so much that lust is only sexual, you don't know when you're really lusting over something. You feel what I'm saying? An insatiable appetite is lust, which is why one of the 7 deadly sins is gluttony. But that's a whole different conversation. But when you have the lust over a motherfucker, which is the insatiable appetite tied with your desire, your infatuation, and your admiration for something, you'll never be filled. That's why niggas, nigga, when you can make a motherfucker love poverty as long as you put a deity there. I'm doing a dramatic pause with that. Why? Because silver and gold, I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. Now I catch flack because it's like, yo, nigga, why you always talking about Christianity and shit like that? Cause that's the oldest of the Abrahamic religions. I don't need to go into all of the other three. The big brother the big brother suffices. Fuck. And plus, I know that one better than I know the other ones and shit. And one falls, they all fall. That's how I look at it. But that's where I came from. That was my background. But I studied enough to say, this ain't right. This ain't right. Because you're giving me a conceptualization of love and you're not telling me what love is. You feel what I'm saying? Love is the power for betterment through correction. I can't correct a deity, therefore I can't love a deity if the deity's perfect. However, now this goes into, well, don't you say you omniscient and you call it? Yes, I do. I do call it source. And I know that I am in the physical manifestation of how source needed to represent itself as me. I can correct source. To love myself is to love source. Niggas love deities and don't love themselves. What? What? You're not trying to make yourself better. You're trying to behave well so you think you're going to get a spot in heaven. No. If you were actually the incarnation of your deity and you knew that you were the incarnation of your deity, you would do better to make yourself feel better. You would do better to correct yourself. The deity wouldn't have to deliver you to some shit when you knew that you're the deity. But when you know that's an external source and you have to how? You're not willing to correct that behavior within yourself. Because you don't make that connection within yourself. You still think you're nothing without the deity. But internally, you keep it under wraps. You don't even tell the truth that you don't really feel the presence of the deity, even when you think you do. And that's what religious psychosis does. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's like, how do you always I always used to ask this question, why niggas only catch the Holy Ghost in church? The reason that y'all only catch the Holy Ghost in church is the same reason why the devil is busy the other 6 days. Ditheism, nigga. Yo, when I got cheated on, man, it was on some bullshit, bro. Let me tell you the story. And the reason why I'm saying this is because it ties to religion. Shorty told me, and this is one of the things that I'm glad happened because it saved me pain that I don't think I would have ever recovered from. We fucking around and shit, and she I want to stop having sex because I feel like I'm sinning against God. I'm with it because I'm getting back in the church. I'm fucking with it. All right, cool. If you feel like you sinning against God now, that's gonna start putting punishment in our shit and all of this shit, and then the motherfucker cheat and get pregnant. Nigga, what? What happened to the sinning against God type shit? What the fuck happened? Did you? And it's you could not have possibly cared. You don't love your deity, bro. You can't love this nigga, bro. You said you made a decision because of this deity and then you spat in his face. You're dangerous to me. In hindsight, I'm looking at that now, but it's yo, you dangerous as fuck to me if you could do that. You can violate your deity, my nigga. I'm just a human. That's crazy. You don't you will go against your deity for whatever you feel. That's a different level of lust, bro. That's a different level of poison, bro. That's a different level of toxicity. That's a different level of whatever. When I look back over it in hindsight, I'm yo, nigga, she cheated on me in Jesus' name, bro. That's wild. That's wild. That's wild to me. You said that you wanted to stop having sex, you wanted to be celibate because you felt like you were sinning against God, and then you did it anyway. That's wild to me because it's if that's what and that's what put things into perspective for me because it's not just that situation. I'm talking about how it was in a healing and shit. It's you're dangerous. You know? Because it's oh, God's watching this, that, and the third. You made this decision because of God. And you spat in that nigga face. And so when she gets pregnant and shit, we celibate. That ain't my baby. If It's not even a doubt in my mind when she comes and tells me I'm pregnant. Nigga, I don't know what you're telling me for. You know how like when the motherfucker come and they be like, yo, I'm pregnant. It ain't mine. Nigga, you was the only one that I was with. You know, we be saying shit like that. She couldn't say that shit to me, nigga. Oh shit, that just made me laugh to my core. Nah, I'm not laughing at her pain or no shit like that. No. I'm laughing at the situation because it's like, yes, nigga, there's not even a doubt in my mind. Like, I'm like, we wasn't fucking. What you telling me for? Like, nigga, I would just say, like, what you want? What you want me to do? Step up and think I'm nice? Like, no, fuck you. You feel me? Now, let me not even say that because at first, I ain't even gonna hold you. I still loved her. I still loved her for real, bro. Like, I loved her for real. And I was like, you know what? We'll make some shit up and say it's mine. You feel me? And it's like, nigga, the time don't align. We know y'all won't fucking, but don't nobody else know we won't fucking, nigga. So shut the fuck up. You feel me? And I was willing to go that route because I really loved her. But I was willing to go that route for the same reason why she did what she did. All under the deity. You feel me? I'm like, okay, we supposed to be, as one, as man and woman under God. I'm gonna marry her. I'm gonna do all of this shit in Jesus' name and shit. It's like, yo, stay with her. Stay with her. Same shit Joseph did with Mary. Same shit Joseph did with Mary. Same dumbass shit Joseph did with fucking Mary. Like, what kind of shit is that? Like, really, sit with that shit. Like, there's a level of psychosis there when you know that you've been betrayed like that. And I get it. Oh no, Mary's situation is different. That was the Holy Spirit that impregnated her. Ain't not a single motherfucker been impregnated by the Holy Spirit since. But you know how they was able to manufacture that story? Cause Zeus was down here fucking humans, nigga. Zeus was knocking bitches off, nigga. Cause it's the mythology. It's the mythology. So when you look at the mythos of it, Zeus came down and fucked somebody, but it was a different character under a different story. It was God coming down as Mary. You feel me? I don't know the Greek names and shit, but it was Jesus instead of Hercules. It was Jesus instead of Damocles. It was Jesus instead of it's a couple of them. Zeus got some babies, my nigga. Those are the two I can remember off the head. Hercules and Damocles. I think his name was Damocles. It was something with a D. These demigods, though, they was fucking them gods was fucking the shit out of them humans, bro. For real. For real, nigga. It's crazy. I think one of them was a swan or some shit. Like, nigga, like, them niggas was fucking some bitches, bro. Respectfully. Howeverly. But the point that I'm saying with that shit, let me get back on track. So it's like, when you do that shit, and it's like, where does the balance come in? Because how do you in one breath say that this deity is your all? This deity is everything for you. But yet, it's good deity. The good deity is what you're doing your shit for. Then somehow the devil can't and that was one of the things she hit me with. The devil was tempting me. No, bitch, you wanted some dick and you fucked the nigga. Like, that's what it is. And we wasn't fucking. It's like, say that. Say that. Say you just wanted some dick and you fucked somebody else and it didn't go as planned. Now you pregnant and you don't know. Oh, the devil tempted me. Oh, this the Holy Spirit that got me. Now, let me stop. I'm not being disrespectful to y'all fake. I'm just being real. See how Ditheism works? Because now when you pick a side, it's like everything else has to be the opposition to that. So you really think you're monotheistic and you're not. So now they tell you that polytheism is bad, but they don't even tell you that you're dealing with, like, until this episode, you never even contemplated the idea of ditheism. It's always monotheism and polytheism. Never die. Why? Because you can't put the die in it because it'll expose the reality of monotheism ain't what we really think it is. Monotheism is ditheism and you pick a side. And forgive me if I'm scattered and I'm standing all over the place. Somehow I feel like I'm scattered and I'm all over the place, but this is just how it's coming out. The ditheism of it all shows that niggas don't really believe and understand what it is that they fucking with. So it comes to the comprehension. Now we tying it in, threading this needle to the first episode where I was saying the Bible, Quran, the Torah, religious books, they're written at an exoteric level. I'm adding a caveat to that now to bring shit in. They're written at an exoteric level by esoteric motherfuckers. I'm doing a dramatic pause with that so you can see the reality of what I'm talking about. Esoteric writers wrote an exoteric book. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, you have to be above the book in order to write the book. You dig what I'm saying? So this is why the shit has so many references, so many different layers to the shit, because it's esoterically written, but it's an exoteric book written by esoteric writers. It's like, for perspective sakes, it's like a calculus professor creating a test for trigonometry. Like, do you feel where I'm coming with that? A calculus professor creating a test for trigonometry. You feel me? That's exactly what it is. They're writing esoteric writers wrote an exoteric doctrine. You were never meant to understand it, but they wrote it in a space, in a place where the Ditheism is hidden, but it's blatantly right there in your face. You're gonna pick a side. You're gonna pick a side. And in picking a side, the masses are all going to be tied into that side that you got to pick in some way, shape, or form. Like, spinning it all back. When I first let go of religion, niggas like, so what, you going to be worshiping the devil? No, nigga, fuck that nigga too. Like, that's why I got to keep reiterating that. Fuck that nigga too, bro. Like, no, I'm not worshiping the devil because I don't worship God. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, and this is the part of the cultic shit, like, to believe that you have to pick a side. And if you aren't in one side, you're automatically on the other side. This is why this phrase is so potent and it's so littered and riddled through fucking Caucasian history and their mythos as a whole. This line that I'm about to say: if you're not with me, you're against me. If you're not with me, you're against me. That exists in hierarchical spaces. When it comes to dominion and submission, that exists in those spaces. You feel me? And I'm going to add a layer to that. If we're in a hierarchy and the reality is either dominion or submission, if you're not with me, submitting to me, then you're trying to dominate me. That's why when we go back to the other side, looking at true masculinity and femininity, harmony is different than hierarchy. If you're not in harmony with me, then you're out of harmony with me. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're already in disharmony with me. No, because that's its own thing. So when they say, if you're not with me, then you're against me. That is like saying, if you're not in harmony with me, then you're at disharmony with me. No, if I'm not in harmony with you, I'm just not in harmony with you. I don't fuck with you. All you keep hearing is get into the markets. But do you trade or do you invest? Should you do stocks, Forex, crypto, or NFTs? My personal answer is not a single one if you don't know how to read a chart. Without knowing how to read a chart, you end up giving all your money to those who do. Do you know what a candle is? Do you know the pocket of activity? Do you know the difference between market direction and market control? If you answer no at least once, you might want to learn how to read a chart first. Learning how to read a chart will let you know if you should trade or invest and if you should do stocks, Forex, crypto, and or NFTs. It will also let you know if this is even for you or not. So visit IamJustSeen.com to learn how to read charts with my Mastering the Market course, ebooks, and webinars today. The world is changing. The question is, will you adapt with it? I don't fuck with you and I don't fuck with the niggas that don't fuck with you. The fuck? Fuck both of y'all. My bad. That's how I rock, bro. Because I'm not in that shit. But when you understand that shit, it makes it so much easier to understand shit. You feel what I'm saying? Case in point, let's tie it back to the Ditheism and shit. Right? Niggas feel like, I hear this shit all the time. I heard it growing up so much from everybody that went to church. Touch not my anointed to do my prophets no harm. Nigga, how the fuck you know you anointed? What made you anointed and what made you a prophet? Oh, because I believe. So because you believe in the deity, you can just take titles when you want to. Going back to the chosen one shit. What the fuck makes you special? What have you done to be considered anointed? Because you have to understand the word anointed. You feel me? Anointed is not something that's given to you, it's something you earn. And because we think shit is given to us, we think when we earn something from source, it's because it's given to us. No, we transform and bring it out of ourselves. In Soul Frail 3, I talk about Mashiach energy. That's what they consider the Messiah. Messiah is an anointed one. That's why it be weird, bro, when niggas be like, Jesus Christ. Like, that's not his last name, nigga. That's a title. That's why his name is Yahshua HaMashiach, or Jesus the Christ. That's why when you hear motherfuckers be like, yo, Jesus H Christ. What does the H stand for? You got to know his real name to even say what it is. It's Jesus the Christ. And the Christ said, nigga, y'all can do what I do, nigga. Be Christ. The fuck? Hey, yo, the reason why I laugh like this is because it's like, it be so obvious, but it's like, it be so obvious, but motherfuckers is so oblivious. It's like the nigga tell you straight up all throughout the book. And it's like, well, Sing, how you gonna keep going back to say it's not real? Then you talk, because it's realism. It's historical fiction. It uses real names and real events of shit that could have happened. You know what I'm saying? But it's still fiction. And it's a fiction. Mythology is a fiction that teaches stories. It teaches principles. So this nigga's walking around telling you niggas, yo, you can be me. Be Christ-like. And this is his whole story, bro. I'm not going to say this and wrap it up because there's still a lot more to go, but this is his story, whole story. You got to be ready for what comes with reaching Mashiach energy. You got to be ready for what comes with being Christ-like. You have to be ready for what comes with being anointed, which means motherfuckers that are not anointed, that can't reach that level, are going to try to kill you. Whether they kill you physically, whether they kill you mentally, whether they kill you spiritually, they're going to try to kill you. Because they ain't you. And no matter what you do, you cannot tell them. And you have to make sure, and this is the thing about it, you have to live and keep moving. That's an underlying undertone that they don't talk about with Jesus' life and shit. Jesus was never supposed to be fucking with these niggas, bro. You're not supposed to come out and show you got magical powers, nigga, that you can turn water to wine, you can spit in dirt and give a nigga sight. You're not supposed to show niggas that shit. You're supposed to do it in the comfort of yourself and leave him the fuck alone. This nigga went to go show it. And they killed him. That's the story. When you are, and I'm gonna get to this because I'm a living testament to this shit in many ways. But, and like I said, this is why it's also, like I'm saying, it's not just physical death, it's mental death, spiritual death, or whatever. When you show who you are, and when you achieve Mashiach, when you get into an anointed space, they're gonna try to kill you. That's just what it is. And they're gonna act like you ain't who you are. That's the motherfucking story, y'all. I know we get wrapped up in the, oh, Jesus died for our sins. And that's not what it was about. That was this nigga walking through the streets all day long. You feel me? And he hung with the criminals and drug dealers anyway, so he didn't fuck with the people in the church. So peep that shit. Peep that shit. The nigga you're trying to embody did not fuck with one side of the Ditheism, which is the side that you're forced to fuck with. Because that's the side that killed him. You feel what I'm saying? The motherfuckers that killed him were the believers. That's crazy when you really like put it in perspective, because they were telling him, you're not God. He's, nigga, yes, I am. You're God too, nigga. If you knew. And that was his thing. Be Christ-like, nigga. Don't be like, you ain't gotta be me, nigga, but be what I am. You ain't gotta be me, but be what I be, nigga. And that's what he was trying to get motherfuckers to do. When he got Peter to walk on water, he said, ah, nigga, you can't do this shit. You know why? Because you don't believe. You feel what I'm saying? You don't believe in the Christ that's in you. That was been the whole thing this whole time. I got a tattoo, right? Philippians 4:13. That was one of my favorite Bible verses. Still is my favorite Bible verse. That's why I got it tatted on my body. I never forget that Bible verse. Now people think, oh, did you made a regret? No, I didn't. Because the verse, Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Now, granted, when I got the tattoo, did I think I'm talking about, yeah, all things through Jesus that strengthens me? I did. And it just so happened that I have broken time barriers and shit sometimes that I already knew. Because that's the only Bible verse I have on me. Only Bible verse I have on me. But it's like, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And then when I understand what Christ was, and I'm like, nigga, that's right. It's right. But to the point about they'll kill you when you get to that point. This is what happens with a lot of woke people. The idea of conspiracy theorists, the idea of, quote, and this is why they did what they did to woke. This is why they did what they did to woke. Because the people that were waking up, they were approaching Mashiach energy. You got to go through some shit to get to Mashiach level. But it's reset every time trauma hits. Because trauma picks a duality. Ditheism. Because the highest conceptualization of the mind, of a deity is the highest conceptualization of the mind. Now, a deity's power in our lives is the reverberation of our decisions based off which level we chose off of ditheism. So when the devil is busy, we're making fucked up decisions. We're making bad decisions. Our decision making skills are trash when the devil is busy. When we get in blessings and God is busy, our decisions are good. We're making sound decisions. We're using quote unquote discernment. Discernment. Like it'd be funny when I see the joke on it ain't a joke because it's reality. When women be like, yo, women's intuition is always on point. It wouldn't be so many single mothers and like, you feel me? Like you wouldn't like, how do you like, what is intuition? You would not be able to choose bad baby fathers. You just wouldn't. It's not possible if your intuition was on point. But intuition without intelligence is insecurity. But it still has to come with a level of consciousness, a level of understanding, anointing that gets you to a certain point. Now it's like, well, if the verse says touch not my anointing and do my prophets no harm, read the whole shit. It doesn't say there's going to be a consequence for it. It just says don't do it. Fuck. Because there's layers to the shit. Because you fuck with the motherfucker who's actually anointed. When it's time for when that anointing has to kick back in or whatever they do for the anointing that comes in, you're going to need them. Case in point, I'm going to use myself for this because I'm really about to pop my shit right motherfucking now. Because a prophet is somebody who thoroughly understands the past, has a well-working knowledge of the past, can identify the present, pattern recognition, and see the future and see what's going to happen. When I created Mastering the Market, when I created motherfucking Mastering the Market, my nigga, I saw what was coming now. I saw this shit. I said, oh, I was telling niggas for a long, y'all, I got receipts. Go back to the older episode. I said, y'all ain't gonna be able to retire. Niggas ain't gonna be able to retire. Y'all gonna have to learn this skill because they're gonna fuck everything up. Niggas thought I was bullshit. Nigga, whatever. Niggas think they know everything. Nigga, hey, when you got it, you got it. It says, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. You feel me? Now everybody's in the space and I'm like, I remember how you spoke to me, bro. This is why you gotta say, because now it's like, it ain't a deity. Well, it is a deity. It is source, but it ain't that deity's power that's gonna intervene and say, you know, I'm gonna fuck with you for this, that, and the third. Now I got the power to say I'm not gonna fuck with you. Now motherfuckers like, yo, are you gonna? I'm not doing no more discounts on my courses no more. Well, I can't afford it. That's not my fault. You know, when the Master of the Market course first came out, it was in 2020. 2020. 2020. Because like by 2020, or I was working on it. Or did I launch it in 2021? No, because what was it? 2022 was when the Iwi came out. Because by 23, yeah. No, 23 was when the Iwi, yeah. No, Iwi came out in 22. 22 to Juneteenth to 22. So from 2020 to 2023-ish. Right? No, I ain't even gonna say to 2023-ish because I literally did my last discount in December 2025. For 5 years, I gave discounts. 5 years. 5. Now niggas is like, yo, are you gonna give another one? Fuck no. Fuck no, that's not right. What you mean it's not right? How is it not right when I was giving discounts for 5 fucking years? 5 fucking years. And the only reason why I was giving discounts is because I was still locking down certain shit. I was like, yo, I don't have the luxury right now to run an automation. And that's what I was working on now. I'm gonna do an episode on that called motherfucking Business Models Part 2, nigga, because I gotta tell y'all some shit, nigga. Ooh, I cracked this motherfucking algorithm like a motherfucker. I flipped Instagram's algorithm on its motherfucking head, bro. And now I can now I run my shit it's like it's an autopilot. I had to do an episode to tell y'all about that shit because I'm excited. But I was giving my discounts because I'm like, y'all, I can't give the attention to actually brand and market. So I just give it a cheaper price. So if you pop up and get it, it's like, yo, I constantly tell you, hey, I'm running this for this. So I've given Master the Market out. Now, mind you, this is content wise. This is a $2,000 course. $2,000, and it's about to get more expensive. I ain't even gonna hold you, it's about to get more expensive because I got more shit and I got more time to add more shit into it. If you in Master the Market, Iwi, hold up, let me say this too, because I'm all over. Iwi ain't coming back. I'm not going to do Iwi again, but what I am going to do instead is I'm going to create a second wave of content in the Master the Market course where I'm actually fine tuning each module. So we're going to start with a candle, and then I'm going to break down candle and why it's important. Then I'm going to connect that to the next piece, connect that to the next chapter. I'm going to do a whole connecting piece. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. I'm going to call it like the dojo or some shit like that, since Master the Market, you know, and it's about heroes and villains. But I'm going to call it the dojo or some shit. And in the dojo, what I'm going to do is connect each piece to show why the candle leads to the pocket to the battlefield to the upper hand, and bring it all back in so you know what we were doing in Iwi. I'm just going to simplify it and put it in there. So that way it's there. But because of that, the price is going to go up. Price is going to go up. Now, this is a $2,000 course. I said, fuck it, I'm going to give it for $399. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now I'm locked into $399. But now it's going to go up to $599 soon. You feel me? Once I get all of this shit done, it's going to go up to $599. And that's the point that I'm locking that. Nigga, that's too much. I don't give a fuck. I don't care no more. And it's like, yo, how do we get here, nigga? Because touch not my anointed to do my prophets no harm. Don't play with me, because when you need me later, I remember what you did. I remember what you did. I remember how you harmed me, nigga. And there's no source don't give a fuck about, oh, you got it. I don't have to do shit for y'all. I don't. And I'm saying that to say this and shit. Because you got to make the choice as to what, like, Jesus ain't have to, like, in the story, Jesus ain't have to let them niggas kill him. But they ended up killing him. Because you got to think about the intensity of my right hand man. Like, you touch me, my right hand man cut your ear off and I put it back on. You should have left that nigga alone then. You feel me? But at the same time, when you see that power and you don't have it, what do? Flipping that to the other side of the story. When you achieve that power, they're going to try to kill you. So you got to be prepared for what comes. And I say that to say, I had to make sure I was prepared for when it happens. If it happens. Because I'm prepared mentally. I'm prepared what you do for me mentally, spiritually, and physically. You feel me? Like, I'm here forever. I'm already immortalized. Like, nigga, I have students that have already mastered the market that will continue the legacy to teach people. I'm cool with it. I have students that have, you know, got them hitting the raw content material, all of that shit, and they're infused at it within they shit. Cool with it. You feel what I'm saying? Think my merch. Fuck that. I'm not worried about what I did that was the most important. It's here forever. You feel me? It's here forever. These podcast episodes, nigga, the seeds is planted. The seeds is planted. I've already helped people in ways that niggas will never understand. But I just keep going. I don't have to stop and talk about the lives I changed and shit, because that wasn't my intention to go out and change lives. But lives will be changed in my presence because, nigga, I reached the level of anointing. Now, I reached the level of anointing because it wasn't something I was born with. I had to earn this. This is what I was getting to, earning this. But when you follow a religion that tells you, hey, yeah, you are anointed or whatever because you follow and you pick a side, that's false. That's false. When we want to, you really want to know what a false prophet is? A prophet who doesn't prepare is a fraud. A prophet who doesn't prepare is a fraud. If I'm telling you that something is coming that is going to ravish you, it's going to be bad, if I'm telling you that and I'm not preparing for it, I'm lying to you. You don't even know that I'm lying to you. Because now as a prophet, because I'm able to tell you what the book says because I know you didn't read the fucking book. That's not a prophet. That's a false prophet. That ain't no fucking real prophet. A prophet sees what's going on right fucking now and can tell you what's coming on. They tell you what's coming in the future. Horn tutor, beep, beep. Go back 5 years on my episode and see if what I talked about then isn't happening right now. But I prepared for the shit, and I made sure niggas was prepared too. I got my receipts. I said, y'all, the stock's gonna crash. Y'all going. The only thing that's gonna work is if you understand how to read the markets. I said jobs are gonna be lost, businesses are gonna be shut down, brick and mortar. I've been saying this shit for a long time, my nigga, and I prepare niggas for it. I prepared motherfuckers for it. But when you're under this ditheistic perspective. When you're under this ditheistic perspective and you have to pick a side, you can't listen to a motherfucker who's not on your side. And I think one of the things is like, I can't sugarcoat shit. I can't play with it. You feel me? I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's not like, it's like you got an individual task. Yes, we all do have an individual task that we're good at. You feel me? Like when you're a chosen one, there should only be one thing that you're chosen for. Nobody can do what I've done the way that I've done it. They can do the shit that I do, but they can't do what I've done. You feel what I'm saying? So in that, when you believe that you don't have that within yourself, you're not going to listen to anybody. And it was crazy because it's like a part of my ascension. A part of my ascension was I want to use the word influence, but I don't really want to use influence. I can inspire. I'm influentially inspirational. And I can get people to do what I want them to do. Without integrity, that's manipulation. With it is influence, whatever the case may be. But a part of the level that I had to get to was, can you still give the message when nobody wants to listen? Deeper than that, can you still give the message when nobody can hear you? You feel what I'm saying? And this isn't just solely how profanity emerged and no shit like that. But it's like that dual nature had to be merged as one. That's what the monotheism is. I can talk to whoever. I could talk to whoever picked whatever side. But I had to learn how to do that shit. I can't talk to the Christians if I'm not a Christian. I can't talk to the Muslims if I'm not a Muslim. Because of this system. I can't talk to the Buddhists. I can't talk to whoever if I'm not affiliated with their cult. You see what I'm saying? So I had to personally learn that in order for me to do what I'm supposed to do, I had to go through the trenches of separating myself from it to be able to still give it. You feel me? Don't get me wrong. I'm still working on the shit. There's days that I still have to work on making sure that I can talk to everybody. Now, when people ask me, yo, why are you so well-rounded and know so much? Because I got to talk to a lot of niggas, bro. I'm not here to talk to Christians. I'm not here to talk to Muslims. I'm not here to talk to Buddhists. I'm not here to talk to atheists. I'm not here to talk to anybody on an individual scale. I'm here to talk to everybody. Everybody. And the only way you could talk to everybody is if you know how everybody listens. I'm doing a dramatic pause with that because everything is like, yo, how do you fit into, like, and this was something that I've learned developing, my marketing strategies and shit like that. It's like, I had to realize I don't have a niche. Like that was one of my limiting factors. Like, yo, what's your niche? Who are you talking to? I talk to everybody. I can communicate well with everybody. The scholars, I could talk to the motherfuckers in academia. I could talk to the motherfuckers in the hood. I could talk to the gay motherfuckers. I could talk to the straight motherfuckers. I could talk to everybody. I can talk to anybody. I can deliver my message no matter where it is. And the problem comes in is because when you're in this ditheistic perspective, you can't hear you can't hear everything. You feel what I'm saying? These are challenges that I had to overcome. Case in point, when I was I had made this post on Threads where I was saying, the black woman is not protected because the black boys are not respected or whatever the case may be. Women went ham. You know why? Because they're ditheistic too. You see how it doesn't trickle just into religion. It trickles to a duality of, if you're not with me, you're against me. And when you speak on something that mentions me, I automatically assume you're against me. They got this shit down to a science, y'all. because they give you the idea of monotheism, and you think that the side that I've chose is the only side there is. I'm not listening to nobody else. You feel me? I had a conversation with a woman one time, and she was like, yo, how are you so emotionally intelligent? Because I was emotionally retarded, nigga. I had to get smart. Like, I'm real transparent with my shit. The reason why I'm laughing so hard, because I'm real transparent with my shit. When I tell about my whole stories and this shit, like, I don't believe that's in you. Well, believe it, motherfucker, because I'm telling you what I've done. I'm not hyping it up like I was that nigga and shit. Like, no, nigga, I used to be a whore bag, bro. I used to be a straight slur. I was smashing, thrashing, and haberdashing. I ain't got these catchphrases for nothing, nigga. This is shit that I've done. But I've also been broken. I've also been a scary guy. I've been it all. So I know how to meet people wherever they at. You feel me? Which works for my communication. Because I got to deliver a fucking message. Which means I can't operate from the ditheistic perspective. I can't operate monotheistically as a ditheistic person, not realizing what it is. You feel what I'm saying? Tying it back to when I was talking about Kemet and shit like that. Because it's like when I started studying the story of Set and Heru. And it was like, yo, Set's the evil. He's the bad guy. Nah, that nigga's just the ego. Oh, so all of your shit. So y'all shit wasn't even, it was about theoretical principles and shit of nature and shit that's in everybody. We just trying to show you how to use them. That's what they called gods when they met us. Because they don't have the capacity to understand what a god is. But to the capacity that they do understand what a god is ditheistic. And it's not monotheistic. So it's like, yeah, you think you believe in God, but in order for you to believe in God, there has to be a devil. In order for, like, this is really, I'm going to say this and I'm going to start trying to wind it on down. In order for God to exist in your life, he needs the devil. Because otherwise there would be nothing for you to pray for. Do you see how they created that shit? Like, you don't pray for good shit. You pray to get out of bad shit. You feel me? And then when you rejoice and you praise God or whatever the case may be, it's almost like what's going on right now with J. Cole and Kendrick and Drake and everything. Like, Cole album just dropped. And niggas, it ain't better than Wale album. It ain't better than Kendrick album. It could have been this, that, and the third. Because you're not able to appreciate the art when you're always comparing the artists. That's a bar. I'll be saying some philosophical shit, bro. For real. I say. But you can't appreciate the art if you're always comparing the artists. You feel what I'm saying? This ties to our deities too. The deities we choose to believe in. And when people be like, yo, I'm not going to complain. Or they'll say, like, worrying is worshiping the problem. Who gave you the problem? Not the good deity, the bad deity. So when you worry about the problem, who are you worshiping? You feel me? When I say, like, the God of your devil, the God of your enemy is your devil, and you and your enemy are serving the same God, nigga, what? Like, this whole Epstein file shit, it's like, niggas is crazy. They're like, yo, they're gonna have their justice in heaven. Why they, like, it's crazy because it's like, why are they getting their punishment in the afterlife when the people they punish people in real life? You shouldn't get your punishment when you die, when you transition, and when you repent or some shit like that. I was talking to a nigga, man, and motherfucker was talking about forgiveness and shit. And I was like, I ain't forgiving nobody. I'm not forgiving and reconciling that shit. I said, yo, if you wronged me and shit, if I go to motherfucker, I don't give a fuck if these niggas repent. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, bro. If this shit's real and I go to heaven and shit and the clan member or the motherfucker that spit on my grandma's face or some wild shit like that is in there, nigga, I'm fading them. I'm fading them. It ain't, and if he's there, I got a bigger problem. Cause how the fuck did he get in? Why the fuck is he here? You feel what I'm saying? Like, shit like that pisses me off. Cause it's like, niggas, y'all ain't thinking about that shit. If I go to heaven and I see Emmett Till and the lady that lied on him sitting beside each other, I'm turning that bitch out. I'm turning that bitch out. Because how? Well, she repented. No. How? This is when I started to learn what forgiveness was. Forgiveness is understanding why pain was inflicted, and then you move according to that. We've been wrapped up into believing that forgiveness is reconciliation. Forgiveness is understanding why pain was inflicted. This is why some shit is unforgivable. Because when I know why you did what you did, that determines whether or not I can fuck with you again. I know why she lied on him. I know why she lied on Emmett Till. I know why she said that he whistled at her. I know why. I can't forgive that. And you mean to tell me that I'm supposed to serve a deity that can? I'm doing a dramatic pause with that. Because this is a part of what it is to be ditheistic. Because what they also won't tell you is that the reason why we still believe in the same God that they believe in because of the war that was fought. We had to take on their religion afterwards. It was a process, my nigga. We weren't just enslaved people, we're prisoners of war. We're fucking prisoners of war. And in being prisoners of war, you had to take on the religion of those who enslaved you from the war. I don't be bullshit when I say we got jumped, nigga. It wasn't a fair one, nigga. They ain't just shoot a fair fade, nigga. We got jumped. We got jumped by the French. We got jumped by the Spanish. And we got jumped by the English. And they divided up this side. The Romans have already came over here. That's why Latin America is called Latin America. The Amazon rainforest, they're like, who are the Amazonians? Really sit and ask yourself that. We going to get into that later on in the season 2, who the Amazonians are. The Amazonians got pushed up. The Amazonians, the Mesoamericans, and the North Americans are the same motherfuckers. South Americans, Mesoamericans, and North Americans are the same motherfuckers. We talk about the enslavement of them, the only difference is a boat stop. But was it a slave boat or a conquistador boat stop that's different? We went to war with the French, we went to war with the Spanish, and we went to war with the English. All ultimately going to war with the Romans without even knowing that that's who we was going to war with. Because they had rebranded so well. That's why South America is Latin America. That's why North America is Afro America. We're going to talk about that another day. I got to get back to the ditheism part of this shit. If I get to heaven and I see Emmett Till, I'm going back to that shit because it makes my blood boil. If I go to heaven and I see Emmett Till sitting beside a bitch that lied on him, I'm fucking shit up. This is why I tell people, I'm like, yo, y'all better hope that I'm wrong about what I feel. Because they're like, no, I said that wrong. Y'all better hope that I'm right and this shit's not real. Because if you go up there and you start seeing enemies, bro, I'll make it even more simpler for you. My grandmother, devout believer, in church every day, prayed, did everything she was supposed to do. She gets hit by a car and pinned between a brick wall and another car. Crushed her body. Crushed every bone in her body. If I get to heaven, I feel my grandma's there. I feel like she should be there. She did everything right. She did everything right. She went to church every day. She prayed. She didn't cuss. She did everything fucking right. Now the woman that hit her and pinned her, if she gets there because she repented, I'm fucking everything up. And niggas, well, nigga, how you know you gonna be there, nigga? It's shit if you go, nigga, I fulfilled my purpose. I wrote so for real. I did what I was supposed to do. Fuck all that shit. If I get there and I see my grandma and I see the motherfucker that hit her, bro, I'm fucking everything up, my nigga. Everything. Everything. Cause I'm like, yo, how did she get here? Oh, she repented. It's that easy, huh? If it's that easy, it's a joke. If it's that fucking easy, it's a joke, my nigga. If the motherfucker that wreaked havoc on everything, if the clan can get the clan is gonna be in heaven, nigga. I don't know how y'all gonna reconcile that shit, nigga. The motherfuckers that was feeding our babies to alligators, you feel me? The motherfuckers that was tying us to fucking horses and ripping us apart. They last days, they reconciled. Lord, forgive me. I repent for all the things that I've done and everything like that. What you gonna do if you in heaven and you see him? I'm gonna set this bitch off, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? You feel me? That's stupid as fuck. Like, that's a joke. That's a fucking joke, my nigga. There's no way you can process that any other way as other than it's a joke. And you're a fucking clown if you don't see the humor in it. And I mean, the humor is just a joke. I was just flowing, you feel me? Because it ain't funny. You're a fucking clown if you don't see that this is a joke. But this is how it plays out, bro. Because the Ditheism, as I said, is you pick a side. Now you're picking the same side as your enemy. That's crazy. But see, now here's where it gets like a little tricky and shit, because it's like, well, by default, then are you saying, no, I'm not saying you should worship the devil neither, nigga. I'm not saying that shit. But I'm going to fuck with the shit that the very thing that my enemy hate me for is the thing I should love about myself the most. That's how I look at life. Nigga, if you my enemy, you hate me, you don't like me, you can't stand me, you want to kill me, every time you see me and shit, I should love myself for whatever it is that you hated me. I have to love myself for whatever it is that you hated me. But instead, what the fuck we do? We suppress the very shit within ourselves that we're supposed to love in order to justify them hating us. You feel me? What the fuck happened with Serena, bro? She on the GLP shit, like, nigga, have you seen her? She got with a white dude. I'm not mad at it. That's love. Love is love. If that's what the fuck you want to do, my nigga, do it. The fuck? Love who you love, as they say. Love who you love. But at the same time, you pick the side. You feel me? Now, when you believe that these motherfuckers are, I'm not saying that this is the case with Serena, although her sister did marry a white dude too. I'm not saying the case may be. And if you black and you fucking white people, this is what it is. But you have the programming of the savior complex. Now, here's the problem. Because when we activate under the premise that the religion is already set. The religion is already set. So the side that you pick is going to be the demonic side anyway, if you don't fuck with the religion, not realizing that I got to disconnect from the whole cult. I come from an era where a lot of my homies, a lot of the friends that I knew, their names were Dante. Dante. I don't know, stereotypical name or whatever the case may be. Dante is the devil's son. Dante is the devil's son. I've been hearing the name Dante for so long, but Dante is the name of the devil. Why? It's black people. You'll never hear a white person named Dante. Now, check me out. Let's go a little bit deeper. There's variations. You feel me? We spell it a different way. You know, Dante's Inferno. Like, when you consider Dante's Inferno and the concept of what Dante's Inferno is, that means it was already set. How does a black boy get named Dante? How does a black man get named the devil's son? That's the bullshit that I be talking about. These are some of the effects of this pseudo monotheism that plays out, in which we operate from Ditheism. We know we don't fuck with them. We know we don't fuck with them. But in knowing that, like, we not going to go to the same heaven that they going to. But they forced us to believe that we operate from the negative side. Which is why it is so imperative that, you have to get baptized. You have to get Jesus to be your Lord and Savior, whatever the case may be. Otherwise, you're the devil. Not just use Dante as one name. But otherwise, you're the devil's son. You're the spawn of. Why do you think the way we beat our kids is to beat the hell out of them? To beat the hell out of something implies that it has hell in it. To beat the hell out of something implies that it has hell in it. And the way in which we beat the hell out of our kids is the exact same way that we used to get beat when we was enslaved. How? How do you end up getting beat like that? Because you're trying to beat the hell out of them? But then now you understand doctrines that say how to turn a Negro into a Christian. I'm going to beat the hell out of you because you have hell in you, because you are the demon. You are the devil. That's why we had to enslave you. That's why we had to indoctrinate you. That's why we had to take over your land, because y'all are the devils. Our cultures never even acknowledge devils, bro. They never acknowledge devils. They never acknowledge dark forces. They acknowledge benefit and detriment. Now that's just been manipulated and tainted. Because now when you now move into your African spirit, this is about to get heavy. Because now when you move back into your spiritual practices, under the guise that you're walking away, the subconscious mind is already wired. But under the guise that you're walking away from a religious belief and you know what side you're on, what do you think you're going to walk into a spiritual practice with? When you already under the guise that walking away from this means that I'm walking away from the good side, which means I have to go to the bad side. Like, there's so many motherfuckers that keep telling me this, that tarot and all of this shit is demonic, and it's, astrology is demonic. All of this shit is demonic and shit. How? It's demonic because you don't understand it. But it's demonic because the side that you once were on is the side you think you have to have. You create this entire reality within your mind and don't even realize it. That's why you have to be indoctrinated when you're so malleable as a kid. The God and the devil exist together. They have to. Devil doesn't exist without God. God doesn't exist without the devil. God, Allah, Jehovah, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, whatever the fuck you call it. They don't exist without each other, because what you think is, as I said, what you think is monotheism is ditheism. And you have to align with a polarity. That's it. And you choose to align with a polarity. I remember when I first got, woke. Well, I ain't even gonna say when I first got woke, because I kind of always been in this space. But when I actually nigga, this is done. I'm done with this shit. I can't fake it no more. You feel me? I can't perform no more as if I get this shit. I can't perform no more as if this shit has been helping me. I can't perform no more as if this shit is beneficial to me. And I was like, but I don't want to be a devil worshiper. And this is when it came to me, is like, why is that an option? And I was like, what? And it's like, just because you walk away from this, why is the only outcome going to be you worshiping the devil? Who created that world for you to believe that that was the reality? Because I don't fuck with this, it means I don't fuck. No, it's like, I don't fuck with none of it. Like, because all of it works together. It's like, oh shit. And then as I read this book called Demonology by King James, I said, hold up. The very nigga that put the Bible together writes a book on demonology. Why the fuck is he studying demons? I'm telling motherfuckers about it. Oh, that's because he wrote it before the Bible. No, nigga. He put that shit together after the Bible was put together. Well, after the Bible was put together. So he did that shit consciously. Why is he writing a book on demons? That's interesting. It's like, how would you know? But this is when I talk about it being cultic. Because when you don't understand that a Bible, a Quran, a Torah, Dead Sea Scrolls, whatever, When you don't understand that these things are written as mythology, ritual, and allegory, you believe them. And the belief is so wired that you don't even seek understanding. You're reading it and you don't understand how it was written and who wrote it. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people keep saying, yo, that was divine. Like God gave the message to a motherfucking man and then the man wrote the shit. That doesn't even make sense to you. In today's time, if I tell you that, like, God told you something, case in point, when I tell people about downloads, I'm like, yo, I downloaded this from source. Downloads ain't really, when I say I downloaded some shit, I am source already. You feel me? I don't have to have that connection or that mental, like, whatever. We're all source already. So when I get a download, all it is a connecting piece. A connection between some shit that I already had in my mind that's stored. You feel what I'm saying? So now when it's like, yo, when I say the shit's coming down, when I'm talking about that, when I say it's coming down, it's coming down. Every thought that I have in this moment is connecting as I'm talking and flowing. And I'm able to bridge the gap in real time. You feel me? That's why, I don't know if y'all heard me say this before. It's like, yo, that's why before I even have a podcast episode, I got to sit on it for a bit. And so when I'm able to talk and flow, this is some shit that I've already studied. I've already learned. I've already experienced all this shit years ago, months ago, years ago, decades even. That's why it's like the stories bounce around so much, because the download is coming right there. But the download is just things connecting in the moment because of what I'm talking about. Because source doesn't have to talk to me. Source is me. Because that's what monotheism really is. It's not a good or a bad. It's not the ditheism that they made us believe it is. So when people be like, yo, God told me that, God ain't tell you shit. Quit lying, nigga. Why the fuck didn't he just tell me? And it's always some bullshit like, yo, God told me to keep your head up and keep pushing. Troubles don't last always. Nigga, I know. You didn't have to tell me that shit. Like, you didn't have to fucking tell me that shit. I know, nigga. But that's how they feel. You know, it's like, how does God talk to you about somebody else, but the devil is always busy with you directly? That's very interesting to me. Because it's like, why the fuck God don't tell you shit about your own shit? He tell you everybody else's business, but nothing about your own. But the devil is directly connected to you. That's different. The devil is busy the devil is busy in your life with the important shit in your life. But yet God is telling you about another motherfucker that ain't got shit to do with you. You don't see the problem with that. Like, you don't see the problem with that at all. You feel me? I got into it one time. This is hilarious. Like, we probably could have boxed. Motherfucker told me, he was like, yo, God said that someone on the lines of, you know, I said, God told me to tell you, shut the fuck up and get out of my business. God wouldn't say that. Well, bitch, God wouldn't tell you what he told you, because that ain't got shit to do with what I got going on. Because you would need to know what the fuck. I'm like, that shit don't even make sense, bro. That shit don't even make sense. Like, and I know that it don't make sense because I'm so in tune with what the fuck that I'm doing that your shit, whatever you're saying, it can't even, it doesn't even fit into this realm. You feel me? Same motherfucker. Like, you know, it's like the devil was busy, man. I'm going through it. I'm like, why the devil fuck with you more than God do? And that's when it kind of doesn't. God like, why the fuck the devil fuck with you more than God do? It's like, what you mean? I'm like, cause you always talking about God. You always talking about the devil busy, but yet you can always try to come and tell somebody what God told them. God don't tell you shit about you. God don't tell you shit that can make the devil not busy in your life. But then when you consider Isaiah 54:17, that no weapon forged against you shall prosper. Powerful verse we always quote. The verse right above that says, which is Isaiah 54:16, says, I create the destroyer to work havoc in your life, and he can only do what I allow. Therefore, no weapon forged against you shall prosper. So, if the devil is busy, is God sending them on you? No, because God wouldn't do that, right? Like, God ain't bad, but no. He said, I do these things. I do these things, good and bad. I do them. So that's like, that's when it lets you understand. It's like how real is the devil if he's not supposed to be real? Like, you feel me? If the devil is a liar, if the devil is a liar, how the fuck can he tell you the truth about you? And I'm saying this like this because niggas always say the devil is a liar, but when the devil is busy, it's always self-deprecating thoughts about shit you're actually experiencing. A lot of motherfuckers be like, yo, when the devil is busy, devil, came in and tried to tempt me or whatever the case may be. Nah, nigga, you wanted to do that. Tying it back to the shorty that cheated, like, you wanted to fuck another nigga. That wasn't the devil that made you want to do that shit. The devil's a liar, but he told you the truth. I ain't even gonna say the truth. The devil is a liar, but he told you your truth. What does that mean that he is? What is he really into you? Because if the devil is the lie, and he's telling you telling you your truth, and he's able to psych you out of some shit, like give you imposter syndrome or whatever the case may be, then what is God telling you? Is he telling you the lie? Is God the truth because he's telling you the lie? He's telling you what you want to hear? The devil tells you that you're not, that you don't want, like, I'm going to use this as an example. People will say, and again, I'm not for or against either one of these niggas, bro. I'm putting shit into perspective and context to show the Ditheism of this whole reality. Niggas will say the devil is a liar, right? But then it's like, now my thoughts is, I'm battling demons. The thoughts is coming in. Now, when you look at a lot of the shit that happens, like, nigga, you weren't prepared for shit. The doubt that you feeling is because you lack preparation. Tell the truth. But then God is telling you that you got this without doing any work. Now, when you go through some shit and you didn't prepare for the shit and now you end up embarrassed, whose fault is that? You're not going to put that on God for lying to you. Because God is going to tell you the lie that you don't want to hear. God is going to tell you the lie masks the truth. From what people are saying, the devil is telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth masks the lie. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you hurt, you depressed, and you down. It's like, yo, this is just the devil playing tricks. No, he's not. How can he play tricks on you if the truth isn't there? Because if the devil can play tricks on you, so can God. That's why niggas be thinking, oh, I seen this quote where motherfucker said, God will put you in rooms that you're not even qualified for. That is a motherfucking lie. That is a motherfucking lie. You ever been in a room you weren't qualified for? You get embarrassed. You gonna be embarrassed like a motherfucker. Why would God do that to you? But then when people say, well, the devil tried to talk me out of my position. Did he really try to talk you out of position? And he gave you the real talk that, bitch, you ain't built for this shit yet. Because here's why I say that. Not because I fuck with deities or no devils and deities and no shit like that. But because if you were really built for it, the doubt would have never crept in. When Steph Curry releases a shot for a three-pointer, he doesn't think about it not falling. Because he's prepared. He's so prepared for it to go in. You see what I'm saying? When you prepare for the shit, the doubt can't creep in. But if the doubt is creeping in and you're calling it the devil and you don't want to acknowledge your lack of preparation, what does that say? It's Ditheism, bro. And you really believe that a deity is just going to hype you up when you're not built for the shit. You know how many motherfuckers is like, yo, I pray for this, I pray for this. Did you work for it? Like, the whole phrase, the whole ideology of faith without works is dead. True, faith without works may be dead, but if you work, you don't need faith. See the point? If you do the work, you don't need faith. And here's the metaphor that here's the example that I'm going to give with that. The phrase faith without works is synonymous to the phrase a bird doesn't worry about a tree. I can't get it out. A bird does not trust the strength of the branch because it trusts its wings. That's faith without works is dead. But because why does a bird trust its wings? Bitch, I've been flying forever. I get out there and I fly. So if this branch breaks, I don't give a fuck about this branch. I'm gonna fly. We don't do that as people. We don't flap our wings. We don't prepare to fly, and we just think we can sit on this branch, and then when it breaks, we're gonna say, "Oh, that was the devil. That was the devil." Well, how did you get on the branch? Who put you on a branch? Do you see where I'm going with that? Because it's like the branch, metaphorically, is the place that you really want to be right now. And then it breaks. This is why people be confused. And they say, you know what? This was a blessing in disguise. How? How? How was it a blessing in disguise if it started off bad? God was just testing my faith. Was he testing your faith? Or did your faith reveal how much work you had not done? Bars, nigga. That's the biggest problem right there. And that's what Ditheism is about. Making people relegate themselves to avoid accountability for the shit that's going on in their lives. Because deities, the power of a deity is the reverberation of consequence. The decisions you make in life, the consequences are deities. Now, because we don't look at it on a grander scale. The decisions of a culture seem like a religious practice. They seem like this is a punishment from a deity. Nah, nigga, this is a decision for the culture that we all had to make, that we continue to make. And we think it's the devil collectively fucking with us. We think it's a God collectively blessing us. It's not. These are the decisions of the culture. Culture. That's how cults work. You pick a side and you align with the cult. But it's so much easier to create a cult when you create Ditheism. Because you know how easy it is that I give you the hell. I give you the hell and I sell you the salvation. What I've learned this as an entrepreneur. I'm going to say this and I'm going to really, really, really wrap it up. I say this as an entrepreneur, right? It go. You create the problem and you provide the solution. If a motherfucker came to your house and threw some glass through your window and it said, "Hey, I sell bricks." I sell glass. I said that backwards. They threw a brick through your window and they knock on your door and say, "Hey, I sell glass." But you threw a brick through I sell glass. But you threw a brick through my window. I sell glass. You feel me? I'm going to arrive on your land. I'm going to kill you, rape your women, rape your children, slaughter your animals, and do everything. Why are you putting us through this hell? I got heaven. No, bitch, you putting us through hell. No, I got heaven. No, you putting us through hell. No, I have heaven. What? You're going through hell. I'm not putting you through hell. You're going through hell. I have heaven. Bitch, you just threw a brick through my fucking window, but I have glass. No, you threw a brick through my... No, you're mad at the wrong thing. Don't worry about the brick. Worry about the glass that I have for you. Don't worry about the hell I'm putting you through. Worry about the heaven I can get you to. Don't worry about the hell that I'm putting you through. Worry about the heaven that I can get you to. All you have to do is believe in what I believe in. It's monotheism, but you have to pick the side that I picked, and the hell will stop. But it's not going to stop while you're alive. You have to die for the hell to stop. Then you'll get heaven. Well, how I know this? You just do a brick through my fucking window. But I got glass. Can you really be mad at me because I got glass? And I got to go get the glass. So, you got to worry about the rain. I got to make the glass. And, you can't get the glass right now. But if you order it, You'll have it. I'll bring it to you. You'll get it later. This glass isn't made for the window that you have right now. It's for a different window in a different house. I threw this brick through your window right now, but I'm going to sell you the glass for a window of a different house. Now, when you move to that house, then you'll get the glass that I'm selling you now. I'm going to put you through this motherfucking hell. I'm going to put you through this motherfucking hell all day long. Sun up to sundown. All generations, I'm going to put you through this hell, and I'm going to give you the heaven later. You don't get the heaven until I kill you. I mean, not until I kill you, but until you die. But here's the caveat. Here's the caveat. I need your credit card information to buy this window. You feel me? I need you to secure it. You feel me? I need your signature to let me know that you're going to buy it when you get there. Oh, you gotta be baptized and covered in the blood. And then you get heaven. Well, nigga, and you know what? I'm gonna throw another brick through your window next week. Nigga, is you ever gonna stop throwing bricks? Cause remember, the more bricks I throw, the more windows you have in a new house. So even if you accept what it is that I fuck with, I'm gonna keep giving you hell. Cause it's gonna build your character for the salvation that you're gonna have in the next one. When you get to heaven, it's gonna be all worth it. All this hell that you're enduring right now is gonna be worth it. They gave you that shit. They gave you that shit to make sure that you won't become a monster like the monster that they are. They teach you don't fight fire with fire, but nigga, you gotta meet evil with evil if you want evil to stop. I ain't never met a bully that ain't been beat the fuck up and stopped bullying and kept bullying. I used to get bullied in kindergarten. I was 5, and that was the last time I got bullied. I bullied him. Simple. So, all right, nigga, you want to bully? Let's bully. He didn't bully me no more. But when I give you your deity, when I create the idea of the deity for you, I can give you all the hell that I'm going to give you, and I can make you pick which side I want you to have. Because I'm going to say all of this shit is the devil. I'm not going to say that these are just humans being humans, nigga. I'm going to say that this is the devil. I'm going to say that these kids have been trafficked. I'm going to say that these kids have been raped. These kids have had their blood drained. These kids have been murdered. These kids have been kidnapped. These kids have been snatched. I'm going to say all of this shit happened to these kids as satanic rituals. As satanic rituals, nigga. Why ain't the deity protect him? Why ain't the deity protect these babies? This ain't a call to give up your religion or to bash your shit. No, nigga, think about it. Like, you have to understand why you were given this shit. And this is how Ditheism works. When you look at the atrocities that they do in the name of Satan, in the name of these things, I don't want to be associated with that in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to automatically pick the other side. Not realizing that the side that I have to pick in spite of this only exists because this side exists. Which of these are really the God and which is really the devil? And don't forget to check out Facade clothing, formerly Just Scenes merch. Get all of your intricate designs crafted specifically for the melanated being to develop a positive imagery within self and to have a little bit of fun in the process. From the peace, love, knowledge, and freedom to the dead horses and water designs, all of the styles are crafted for the imagery to make you feel as you're supposed to feel. Because as I always say, the best way to fit in is to stand out. And what better way to stand out than with your exclusive styles from Facade clothing. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end it there. You know, I don't think I was supposed to go down this route like this, but I did anyway, because it's just what it was. But that's Ditheism, bro. And it's a conversation that I don't think people have and shit like that, because it's like, you know, everybody say, yo, you choose what you gonna believe in. In order for it to be, in order for monotheism to work as you think you're serving it, you have to accept that you're practicing ditheism and you're choosing a singularity of it. Whether this be God, Allah, Jehovah, Krishna, Buddha, whatever. These things can't work without the other. And in order for your side that you choose to function properly, the other side has to be prevalent. Like, so many pastors be fucking over little boys and shit. A lot of the homosexuality that we see developed, it started in the church, Nick. So many niggas got stories of the pastors touching them and molesting them and shit and all kind of weird shit. They're not punished. The fuck? Because I always say this, you have to look at it, it's one of three things. Either deity don't give a fuck, the deity losing power, or the deity don't exist. You can take it however you want to. Or you can look at it from the logic and the reality of what it is. Deities are the highest conceptualizations of the mind. And in order to control you, I have to make sure that I know how high your mind can be conceptualized. So I'm going to give it a God. You can't think above God. You feel what I'm saying? You can't think above God. That's it. Now, when I tell you how God thinks, and I tell you what God is, and I tell you these things, and I put the barrier around you, now you have to exist in the world where the devil sits. You feel me? These two things go hand in hand. No weapon forged against me shall prosper, but I'm going to be the motherfucker who lets the weapon do whatever. That was a layered entendre. Again, because you got to think this book is written by esoteric writers. It's an exoteric book written by esoteric writers. For I create the destroyer to work in your life, but he can only do what I allow. When you understand that the deity is the highest conceptualization of the mind, that is all you. I know it's like, well, how can that be me if I go through bullshit and it's worse than... You're never given more than you can bear, right? Only you know what you can bear, right? Therefore, you're the only one who has the capacity to put you in something that will fuck you up. But you always know the limitation to which it can fuck you up. You never put yourself in a fucked up situation that you can't get out of. Like, really think about it. Now, when you start fucking with people whose situations can transcend yours, that's when you start fucking up and getting even worse than what it is. You feel what I'm saying? But these things play into reality. On your own, you can't conjure up something that can destroy you. I'm gonna say this, and I'm about to start wrapping this shit up. You can't, in your own mind, conjure something up that is powerful enough to destroy you. You can't. It's not possible. You feel what I'm saying? Something greater has to intercede in order to stop you, in order to make you do something that can destroy you. So now, when we start tying into the media, this is when I talked about imagination, your nation of images. When we start talking to the things you see all the time that are programming you, they are now controlling the conceptualization of your mind. So if there was ever any buffer that can prevent you from damaging yourself, it's gone. It's gone. Because only you have the capacity to extend beyond that. So now when you look at why they would give religion to people who, as what Killmonger say on Black Panther, bury me in the oceans with the ancestors who knew that death was better than bondage. Now I'm going to convince you that slavery, that suicide is wrong. So you'll go to hell if you commit suicide. It's like, why would I commit suicide if only I could bring myself power? Only I have the power to actually destroy myself. Like you don't have the power to destroy yourself, but there can be the imagery in place that can make you do so. Because am I really destroying myself? If I this is not in no way, shape, I ain't even gonna say that because I don't know who may be suicidal. I'm gonna cut it right. You know what? I already opened it. So because it's gonna like I don't condone suicide and I've been suicidal before and everything like that. But thank you, Ashe. The whole shit the thought I was gonna go with is gone down anyway. So I'm not gonna say it. I can't say it. I'm not gonna go with it. But this is the thing that I'm saying. When you are in a space where you can control, you can't damage yourself. I'm going to say it like that. You can't knowingly damage yourself. The traumas that we experience and the things that overwhelm us and shit, they supersede our minds. Now that goes into something else now, programming our minds. So we wonder why as black people, they constantly keep us in states of trauma. Because it allows us to pick a deity. It allows us to pick a conceptualization of the mind, whether we know that we have that conceptualization or not. And what does that do to us? It inhibits us. Because we don't, and then I guess on an unconscious level, we know that we're not supposed to be sharing the same God as our enemies. But at the same time, we do shit despite the devil. So it's like, what are you really worshiping? Because you'll still gossip. You'll still be malicious to people. You'll still do all kind of shit that devils and dark forces do against people. But you believe in a positive deity. Nigga. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and there, yo. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables in. Our kids, when you introduce them to deities and shit, introduce them to a totality of them. Not out of fear. You feel me? Make sure they're able to spot angels just as much as they're able to spot demons. Make sure they're able to actually see God and not just see the devil. Make sure they're able to see both sides of a situation. Understand what deities are as the highest conceptualizations of the mind. And stop playing with your babies, bro. Because we keep fucking them up. And now the world can traumatize it because now it's like, oh, this is just the devil. Why do you think the world has to be so traumatic? Because we're going to force you into the religion we want you to be forced into. We're going to make you pick the side so we can continue to torment you and we can continue to sell you some salvation from some shit that doesn't exist right now. You're going to behave. You're going to behave. You feel me? We looking at why can't we revolt? Why don't people revolt? Because they don't want to be viewed as a devil. Leave that devil shit to somebody else. Fuck that. That shit's crazy, bro. That shit crazy. And if we gonna keep raising subjugated kids, bro, because the religion is there. The religion is designed to make you have subjugated babies, bro. That's crazy to me. That's how patriarchy works, man. It's designed to make you have subjugated babies. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is why I say religion is the final shackle. And it's something that is hard to break. I can't. Just, look, make sure your babies, teach them how you're going to teach them. But understand that monotheism is a facade. You don't believe in just one God. You believe in two. At least two. The God and the devil. Because in order for God to have any kind of power in your life, you need a devil to balance and to compare him to. You feel what I'm saying? You need a devil to balance him off with. And vice versa. In order for the devil to have any power, you need a God to compare him to. Because the devil is always busy in conjunction and in parallelism to your beliefs. I mean, to the goodness of God. You feel what I'm saying? You got something to compare him to. We gotta make sure our babies are awake, bro. I don't know what else to say to y'all after that shit, but I'm gonna go in there. Go kiss your babies, make sure they eat their vegetables, and I'm gonna see y'all all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.